Welcome to Beginning Guitar 2. I touched briefly on tuning in the first video, Beginning Guitar 1. Touched on it only with an electronic tuner. What you need to do is be able to tune up without that tuner. So if you have a piano or a keyboard, you can find E by looking at the two black notes that are together, and the white note to the right of those is E. So you play that and match your high E string to that tone till it's in tune with it, or the low E. Okay, say your low E's in tune, you play that at the 5th fret, and that's what you tune your 5th string to, that pitch. Now, I'm already in tune. Let me drop out of tune to demonstrate that. That's not matching, so I want to match those pitches. Close. What I like to do is keep hold of that note until it matches. And you do that with each string. 5th string at the 5th fret to the open 4th. 4th string at the 5th fret to the open G. And then the odd one, you take the 3rd string, the 4th fret, and match up the pitch on the 2nd string. Till finally you're at the 2nd string, 5th fret, and match pitch with the high E. In the first video, we talked about open chords like E, and A, and D, and a little bit about power chords. What I'd like to start with on this one is barred chords. If you have an open E chord, if you finger that differently so your first finger is free to do something, for instance, 2nd finger on the 3rd string, little finger on the 4th string, 3rd finger on the 5th string, still playing an E, what you can do, it's the magic of guitar, move that up a fret and bar down with the 1st finger with all your might. And that magically becomes an F chord, because that's the next note on the 6th string. E, F. Push it up another fret. F sharp, G, and so forth up the neck. And that's just with one chord, E. Say you wanted to, you can make a bar chord out of an A chord. I play A like that sometimes, or like that, or like that. You play it like that, your first finger is free to bar. Depending on how big your fingers are, mine are pretty big, so it's hard to get all these fingers squished in there. So what I'll do is I'll bar with this 1st finger, and I'll also bar with the 3rd finger across the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings. So I can play that A-shaped chord in any key. And we have the E minor chord. Same applies. F minor, A minor, G minor, the open A minor chord. Change your fingering around to have the 1st string open, or 1st finger open. 1st finger free to bar. lots of chords are just those bar chords, sometimes lovingly referred to as Beatle chords, because you see old pictures of John Lennon playing guitar, chances are he's got his fingers playing bar chords. If you take an A chord, you can make what's called an A7 chord by doing one change with your fingers. Let's see, I'm playing this A like this. I'll take A on the third string, and I'm dropping that 2 frets and creating an A7 chord. Fingered various ways, and don't forget there's a booklet that goes on with this tape, and you can refer to any point of this tape in the booklet, and diagrams are in there, and you can check it out at your own pace. A7, of course, can be barred. So in review, we have major chords barred, minor chords barred, and the 7th chord barred. Now, I want to talk about rhythms, specifically 16th note rhythms, which are found predominantly in funk. If you have a quarter note pulse in 4/4 time, you basically have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are quarter notes. 2, 3, 4. A lot of things I played up to now are 8th note rhythms, which are quarter notes divided by 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and most rock comes from 8th notes. If we take those 8th notes and divide those by 2, we'll come up with 16th notes. In the space of one beat, I'm playing 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and those are 16th notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Notice I'm strumming down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up in time. I'm just muting with my left hand across the strings. It's a good way to practice this method of strumming. 2, 3, 4. Let's take a D7 chord at the 5th fret, barred, and play that with steady 16th note rhythm. 3, 4. Now, it sounds a little bit boring to me, so what I like to do is add a little left-hand muting. In beginning guitar 1, I talked about right-hand muting. But left-hand muting is when you have a chord, like D7 in this case, and you lift your left hand just ever so lightly, so they're off the frets, the strings, but you're still muting them. You're not, you still have your fingers on the strings. So it would be maybe a beat of chord and a beat of no chord, like this. 3, 4. Or any combination. All that's happening is playing the chord or muting. And a good idea to, or a good place in the bar to accent is the 2 and the 4, because that's where the snare usually hits. The backbeat, it's called. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a D7. What I'd like to do is make a D9. Very, very popular guitar chord. The dominant 9 chord. That's this one.
Ah, qué bonito!
4th string, 4th fret. Then you bar down on the first 3 strings with the 3rd finger. Kind of awkward at first. It's easier if you bring your thumb around on top of the neck. It's all right. That's like the mother of all chords for funk. Let's move that up 2 frets. And it's an E9. 2, 3, 4. It's fun. You can just make up your own rhythms, just depending on when you mute and when you play the chord. I like E9 a lot because you can play your low E once in a while. And I also slid into that chord from a half step below or 1 fret below. So why don't you get that under your fingers and play along with the band in this next example. In beginning guitar 1, I talked about the scale, the minor pentatonic scale. I'd like to talk about the blues scale at this point. Again, in review, we have a C minor pentatonic scale at the 8th fret. Sounds like this. Notated in the booklet. Also notated in the booklet is another place to play that scale, on the 3rd fret area, starting on the 5th string. That's good because if you're playing C minor pentatonic, it'll keep you from being locked in one area on the neck. There's one note difference between the minor pentatonic and the blues scale, meaning there's one added note. C minor pentatonic. Add a note at the 9th fret, 5th string. It's called the flat 5. And then complete the scale. And that note that you added is also added an octave up on the 3rd string. So again, referring to the pattern in the booklet, it's played like this. a good idea to practice that scale with a lot of pull-offs and hammer-ons, which I talked about in the first video. Another technique uses sliding. It's really nice to slide up and down, particularly on that added note. And that's called a sequence. You can go over that slowly, referring to the booklet. A lot of classic riffs and solo pieces are derived from the blues scale. So I'm going to demonstrate a few licks using the blues scale pattern. Again, that's notated in the book. And also you can bend to these notes. If you were on the, let's say, 11th fret, 2nd string, you could bend. You're bending actually a whole step or 2 frets, hitting this note. That's that note. Or taking this note here in the 3rd string, 10th fret, and instead of fretting the next one, you could bend to it. Now, the band's going to play a C blues, and I'm going to be soloing using the C blues scale. If you're watching closely, you might have noticed I was coming in and out of the pattern and playing in different areas of the neck. What you'll find in the booklet is several patterns written out in diagrams of the same scale, just like C minor pentatonic can be played in at least 2 different places. The same applies to the C blues. Now the band's going to play, and you solo in C blues. guitar 1, I talked a little bit about blues using the Chuck Berry rhythm in A. You can add one more note to that riff. And one more note is on the 4th string, 5th fret. That's known as adding movement to your chords. It's a little bit more interesting than just playing an A chord. Also, what you can do to add movement to that A is play what's known as a triad, a 4th above, meaning A. Play the 4th chord, or the 4 chord in A, keeping in mind that A blues is the 1 chord, 4 chord, D, and the 5 chord E. The 4 chord is D. But if you play D in a triad form down here, 2nd string, 3rd fret, 3rd string, 2nd fret, 4th string, 4th fret, that spells out D. So it's easy move from A.
Alright, so now we're here in the Tower of the Americas where it's clearly very windy, isn't it, Michelle?
Blustery.
Yes.
Look, your hair's blowing too. Look
Is
at
it?
you. Look at you.
No.
Look at you.
Little blues riff we have here. 3, 4.
This is Omar, waiting to drive through the African safari in Tejas
Nice
with
uplifting
trepidation.
sound.
But we're on our way, and that's the giraffe.
Giras.
Yes.
Giras.
Here we go. 5 miles.
Go up the D chord at that point.
Okay, they didn't even like budge.
Playing that
They don't like the
part
food.
of D. Instead of playing a full D,
Hello, Mr. Ostrich. Oh, stop pecking me anymore.
Like, where's my food? Knock, knock.
and leave your hand free to play.
He's just chilling. This guy is
You were playing down here.
hungry. I'm sorry. No.
So in context,
No food for you. It's like I'm
Goodbye.
checking out these people. The people behind us save us.
only that part right Yeah, when I was up here on the E chord, I just did that same riff by leaving out the bass note.
Yeah, let's see.
More people usually know this original
So we have to play what we may.
So usually when I give the other story, I make sure to mention the caution delay. Might not be waiting for what you're going to
Alright, sit down.
It's called the minor scale, the natural minor scale.
Oh crap.
Right now. And you can check it out in the booklet as I play it up here on the 10th fret. That's D minor scale, and it fits over a D minor chord. Can you hear it? It outlines the texture of the chord, or the sound of the chord. So the band's going to play, and why don't you play the D minor scale with the chord progression. That wraps it up for Beginning Guitar 2. I had a lot of fun today. I hope you did too. Most of the things I went over today, I did fairly quickly. Take advantage of the booklet that comes with this video. Everybody learns at their own pace. It doesn't matter if you get it in 2 minutes, 2 hours, 2 weeks. Just take your time with it. Have fun, and we'll see you next time.